Hello, welcome to another session of Words Alive. Today I'm going to talk about power. Now, somebody said absolute power tends to corrupt. Absolutely. So there's good power, there's bad power, and many people want to have power. Now, what is power? Power simply means you have the authority and the control over something or some people. And I've watched many documentaries on world leaders, dictatorship, and of even corporate leaders. And everybody's talking about we want power. And years ago there was even a song, oh, give the power to the people. You know, people like to have control and authority. And people are looking for the powerful guy, the strong guy. Oh, if you have power, people will like you, people will flock to you. I've watched people like Noriega, the former dictator of Panama, and he was like standing on the stage, you know, raising his arms, and people are chanting, and he enjoyed the power that he has over his people. Saddam Hussein does the same thing. So is there good power? People are afraid of talking about power because we all think that power will corrupt. But there is good power. And today I'm going to share with you one such power. I'll call this the power of the cross. In 1990, I was still able to see. And I remember walking past a bookstore and I came across this book called Every Day with Jesus by Seven Hughes. It was a small booklet. I still remember it was a blue color booklet with a cross. And I was very attracted to the title, The Power of the Cross. It was the month of the Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and so I bought a small booklet, and I was very encouraged by what Seven Hughes wrote. Simply, he was saying, when Jesus was dying on the cross, he still has the power and the love to make a loving arrangement for his mother, Mary. Now, this passage was found in John chapter 19, verse 25 to 27. Nearby the cross stood Mary and a few other Mary and the disciple that Jesus loved. And then Jesus turned to his mother and said, woman, this is your son. And he turned to the disciple whom he loved and said, this is your mother. And from the day, the disciple took Mary in as his own mother. Now, have you ever wondered? Jesus was suffering on the cross. He has been slapped, he has been spat upon, a crown of thorns was forced on his head, causing massive bleeding. He has been whipped with a horrible whipping. He has been beaten with rods. He was suffering and bleeding a lot. He was nailed to the cross. It was a very painful thing to be nailed on the cross, with nails on your wrist and nails on your shin. If the prisoner were to move his arms just to adjust the pain on his wrist, then he will cause pain to his shin. Now, so when the pain on the shin comes, he try to move down, and when try to move down, he will cause pains on his wrist. So there's always a struggle for the prisoner to go up and down the cross. It was a very cruel way to kill someone. It was designed to kill someone slowly. Actually, the Romans planned to leave the criminal on the cross for 6 days, bleeding the person to death. So it was a very painful moment for Jesus. But how could Jesus still have the love and the power to make such a loving arrangement for his aged mother? If I were to be Jesus and seeing my mother nearby, I could have just screamed to my mother and say, oh, mom, it's very painful, please help me. But Jesus did. Jesus on the cross made this loving arrangement for his mother. And on the cross, Jesus saved all mankind. Some people say, what is the good use of Jesus dying on the cross? But the good news is that when he died on the cross, he saved you and me from our own sins. There is power flowing from the cross. Now, all this may sound very theological and high sounding. Let me share with you my testimony. In 1995, my glaucoma was very bad. What was glaucoma? Well, my eyes were suffering from high inocular inner eye pressure. It was very painful. I was on this medication for long term, and when I went up to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, I met an eye specialist, and she told me that my eye pressure was very bad, very high, and I could not carry on taking the medication because the medication was only for short term. If I carry on taking the medication, I might collapse and die of heart failure. So I was shocked when I heard this. But the good doctor then made a suggestion and say, why don't you come up to Kuala Lumpur again next month and I will treat you for free. I will use a new method for operating on your eyes, and that would save you from medication and from the pains in your eyes. Now I've gone through already 5 surgeries in Singapore, but it all failed. So after praying, I went up in August 1995. On the first day when I was there, it was gloomy. My brother fell sick the moment he arrived with me in Kuala Lumpur. He has to fly back to Singapore, leaving me alone with my doctor. And many so-called uncomfortable things happened. Not because of my doctor's fault, but it's just because I felt sickly and so forth. And on the day of my first surgery, I was very afraid. It was scheduled that on a Friday afternoon, I have to be operated on my right eye. I was so worried about the surgery because I've been through this surgery before. I hate it, it was painful. And on Thursday night, I couldn't sleep. But on Friday morning, 5 a.m., somebody woke me up. A hand patted my thigh 3 times. And I jumped out of bed. There was no one. The nurse that was looking after me was still sleeping, far away, snoring. And I felt that God wanted to talk to me. And at the time, we have this cassette player, so I felt impression to listen to the cassette player, listen to it. And the Lord used His word to encourage me. And He said that my love is enough for you to go through this very day. So came 1 p.m., I was view into the surgery theater, and many wrong things happened. Many things happened. My surgery was delayed, and I was feeling very uncomfortable. Now after that surgery, there was so much pain in my right eye. I was bandaged, and there was so much pain in my head. I was wheeled back to my bed, and I fell asleep. 2 hours later, my doctor came and woke me up. I woke up with a lot of pain in my eye and my head, and then my doctor whispered into my ear. She said, well, I brought a young girl to see you. Can you please counsel her? And I exclaimed to my doctor, I said, you want me to counsel her now? I have so much pain in my eye and my head. How could I do it? And she said, pray, pray, pray. And so I prayed. Sat up, talked to the girl, and after 1 hour, the girl stood up and said, Paul, I'm so glad that I've seen you today. While talking with you, I found my answer. And just at that moment, the Lord impressed upon my heart that I have learned the lesson of the power of the cross. The Lord told me, you remember the booklet you bought in 1990? You read it then. Today, you experience the power of the cross. Though you are suffering, but I gave you strength, joy, and energy to help someone. Now, over the next few weeks, both my eyes were bandaged, and the doctor brought in some more people and asked me to counsel them. So I counseled a few people in the hospital with both my eyes bandaged. I thought it was going to be the worst 3 weeks of my life, but it turned out to be one of the best 3 weeks of my life. I experienced the power of the cross in the hospital. I was uncomfortable, I was feeling pain in my eyes, but I have learned the powerful lesson of the power of the cross. For the last 20 odd years, there were still many crises in my life, there were still many troubles, but each time God taught me afresh the power of the cross. I felt it was a privilege that God gave me such power to bless others while in suffering. It was no longer high sounding, it was no longer just a theological point. But the power of the cross has become so real. And today, I'm glad to go around the world to preach this power of the cross, to minister in the power of the cross, to help others and be a blessing to many people with the power of the cross the Lord has invested in me. I pray you will come to also experience the power of the cross. If you are going through situations or going through some kind of crisis, I pray in Jesus' name that you will come to the Lord and you will surrender your life to God. Let Him lead you and let Him grant you the power of the cross. I pray you will arise from the ashes, even though your circumstances may not have changed. But if you are willing, I'm sure the Lord will grant you the power of the cross and you will arise to be a blessing to many other people. Friends, I can tell you, no money, no other joy can replace the joy of being used by God to bless many other people with the power of the cross. I bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.